This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate on a Wednesday. Tito, Jeff Thitoff with you. To my left, Bobby Carpenter, the general, the professor, the former All-American, the all-decade team linebacker. Good morning, Bob.
I don't know if that's an official all-decade team, but I'll take it.
It was Land Grant Holy Land. They put you on the 2000, 2010.
I appreciate that from them. That's terrific.
I would get a tattoo on the small of my back if I had that honor, Bob.
No, I believe that.
Yes. Good morning, Bodie.
Good morning, guys.
Before we get into things, Bob, I want to tell you, I think, is it possible to be unintentionally offensive?
I think you master that on a daily basis.
I think I did it last night.
Well, point proven.
Wife is like, hey, I'm preparing this whatever for Thursday. Maybe it was Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. It must be Wednesday. So it was last night. I said, I need you to pick up a couple things at the store. Oyster sauce, which I had no idea existed.
Okay.
Were you aware of oyster sauce?
Yeah, because there's something that we make that involves oyster sauce. So,
okay.
Yes.
Bodie, were you aware of oyster sauce?
I was not either.
Okay.
Nope,
See,
I'm
there we
with
I think
you.
the term you're looking for is generally aware.
Yeah,
That's
I
usually what they
was
say.
not, honestly.
Okay. So she's like, hey, they've got it at Kroger. I go to Kroger, and I can't find it. I cannot find what she wanted. Oyster sauce, which I could find. She wanted lo mein noodles.
Lo mein?
Lo mein noodles.
I don't know what those are.
Okay.
Sure, there's some.
Thank you. I feel better about not knowing it.
You know
then.
what's amazing, though, is if you just punch that information into a machine.
I did.
Usually.
No, I did, and it said aisle 10 at Kroger. I'm looking at aisle 10. I can't find lo mein noodles.
Well, did you ask anybody?
Bob, here's where the story goes. I asked the individual. First, he makes the joke, which I knew was a bad sign, because the guy honestly was probably about 30 years older than me. No offense, but he was older than me. And he said, well, where'd you look? And I said, aisle 10. He said, because if you're looking for high main, they're on a top shelf, low main's on the lower shelf, which right there turned me off the fact that maybe.
Okay, so that's why I figured it's Asian noodle, basically.
It's an Asian noodle, yes.
All you had to do was look that up.
I did, Bob. Okay, and so he and I then do a search.
It's egg noodles.
It's lo mein. Yeah, it's egg noodles. What it is. Anyway, he and I, they were looking for it. They don't have it at
Don't need
Kroger.
to church it up, Dirt.
Is that, what
Just
movie is that from?
Just egg noodles.
Dirt? What movie is that from?
Joe Dirt.
Okay.
It's Deer Tay.
Dear day.
Anyway.
Deer Tay. Don't church it up, Dirt.
Son, don't try to church it up,
We
son.
look it up, Bob.
Kid Rock.
Okay, he and I both on our app looking. It says aisle 10, but there's none in stock. Even though we're looking everywhere, we can't find it. He said, go across the street. It was a grocery store in Henderson. They're like Sunrise.
That's an Asian store. I've been in there.
Thank you. Asian store. Yes, I didn't mean to point at you again, Bob. I apologize for that.
I'm
What
not
kind of
Asian.
store is that, Bob?
So
Store, they sell all kinds of things.
I go in there, and I ask the individual
Toto.
who's working there, who's stocking
Toto's
noodles.
what we ate last night. Tito is who you're referring to.
He's stocking the noodle section.
Mm.
And I said,
Do they refer to him as the noodler?
I said, excuse me, sir. Do you have lo mein noodles?
It's an Asian
I know.
grocery store.
I got it. But
It's
still.
not do you. It's, excuse me, where can I find the lo mein noodles?
So here I go.
I'm just under the assumption when I go into a store, they're going to have what I want.
He says, yes, we do have them. All we have is frozen. They're over here.
Okay.
I think that's what he said. He walks me over.
I mean, you think that's what he said.
Because there was a bit of a language barrier, Bob. He walks me over and shows me there's a huge bag of lo mein noodles and frozen. It's the only brand they have, the only style they have. Frozen, he gives it to me. So now you're thinking, okay, where's the accidentally offensive? I found myself, because it was very crowded, and I also thanked the individual for showing it to me.
Of course you did.
What I do.
Super polite.
And then, one of the cashier lines was way backed up. They opened up a second one. I'm like, ma'am, you go ahead. You were first. You go over to that line. I'll wait here. Although, I'm being polite, Bob.
Of course you are.
Which is in my DNA. But after I walked out of the Sunshine place, Sunrise, I realized that
You didn't get the oyster sauce.
No, I got the oyster sauce from Kroger, but they didn't. Anyway, but I realized, Bob, after I did some self-reflection, which I love to do after the fact.
Very reflective.
Yes, after the fact. That every time I said thank you to somebody in that place, I bowed a little bit. Not like the full bow, but I did like a...
What is wrong with you?
Bob, I'm being transparent with you. That's why I wonder if that was wrong or not. I didn't do a full bow.
I'm asking what is wrong with you.
Why are you the way that you are?
What, basically,
Okay.
Toby.
Don't be an idiot. But Bob,
Changed my life.
Okay, so should I? It wasn't on purpose, Bob, but I felt bad about it. Not bad enough to go back and apologize to people, but I felt like I probably bowed more than I would have in like Kroger. And I think it was on accident.
I don't understand you.
Get in line, Bob.
I don't know if I would ever. Here's what's amazing about this Thitoff is I don't know if I would ever share that if I said that.
I have no problem being transparent, Bob.
That's not being transparent.
I'm asking your opinion.
Are you ridiculous? Yes.
That didn't sound ridiculous. It was like, do you think I was accidentally offensive?
I think you're ridiculous.
I'll take that as a maybe.
I don't understand where that you would start doing that, thinking that was inappropriate.
I walked out of that place. I sat in the car for about 90 seconds thinking about it then. And I thought, I'm going to text Bobby and Bodie right now. And I said, you know what? I'll wait and do it in the morning. We'll talk about it there. And so that's why I wanted to get both your opinions. Do you think I was accidentally offensive? If I bowed just a little more, I'm not saying, Bob, I didn't do the full bow. I did like kind of a deeper head nod.
I'm not even going to acknowledge. I think the story kind of speaks for itself. You're at you can.
Hornets beat the Heat last night, 127-106 in overtime in the playing games. Blazers over the Suns.
Hornets beat the Heat?
Hornets beat the Heat.
That's amazing. I'm
At
so
the buzzer,
proud.
LaMelo.
Yeah,
That's
LaMelo.
awesome.
Buzzer.
LaMelo
I
is
got to
sick.
text
2
my
seconds
guy.
left.
My guy, Matt Schick, really quickly, who I do a lot of XM work with, he had a futures bet on the Hornets making the playoff and the Hornets making the play-in.
Really?
Okay.
Independently.
Now they still have to win one more to make the playoffs.
I thought they were.
No, I think they're now. Right? Oh, it was a 10-9 game, was it?
Yeah,
It was a
they were
10-9
the
game.
ninth
they didn't
seed.
get in as
Not
the.
yet.
I
So
thought
they have to win.
I thought that was the 7-8.
Yeah, that's-
Son of a gun.
They have to
7-8,
win
yeah,
one
so
more.
he's not there
on
yet.
Friday
So they would have
night.
been out if they lost.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he took a bet on each, and
Got one so far.
one paid him. I mean, he did this when the Hornets were like around last place.
Oh yeah.
So each one paid out like $2,500. The other one paid out like $4,000. So I thought that I was hoping they were going to get in the 7-8 game.
I mean, they can win the next game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure they
Like,
can, yeah.
for sure.
They've played really well
So-
lately, yeah. They've been down the stretch. They've been great.
Yeah.
But so he ended up
Never
cashing.
lost.
He cashed the first one, and I'm like, dude, because he's like, if they just make the playoffs, I'm good. I'm like, no, be greedy. Let them
Be
get both.
great. Be great.
Get both. And so they have a chance to get them both. I thought that they were in the 7-8 game, which would have got him in last night. Well, at least they're still alive. That's good. I'm happy for him. He's got 4 kids. He took all his family to Disney, which couldn't have been cheap.
So Blazers over the Suns tonight. We've got Orlando and Philly, also Golden State and the Clippers. NHL last night, Washington over CBJ 2-1 to end the season. We will hear from Rick Bowness 7:00 hour.
Oh, yes, we will.
Oh, I'm telling. Have you
I tell
heard all
you-
this, Bob?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Have you heard all this, Bob? Rick Bowness after the game?
I have not.
Okay, good.
It's fun.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it. Then go ahead. What were you gonna say, Bodie? Before I cut you off?
Yeah, I was just going to say, most mornings I come in and cut it up audio. It's
Yeah.
kind of same old, but Coach Bowness gave me a nice little bonus this morning.
It was wonderful. Reds beat the Giants 2-1. They played 6:49 in Cincinnati. Cardinals over the Guards 6-5 in 10 innings. They play 115 in the Lou tonight. All right, Bob. Why don't you do the thing you love to do and make me smarter?
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
All right, Bob. Do your thing.
Oh, boy. It is Wednesday, April 15th. It is tax day. How about that? 105th day of the year, 260 days remaining in this 2026. This date, 1865. Abraham Lincoln the vampire hunter. The vampires were a little safer today. Shot yesterday, passed away today in Ford after being shot in Ford's Theater by John Wilkes Booth. Today, Andrew Johnson is sworn in.
AJ.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you call him?
Yeah. AJ.
As what number president was Johnson?
16.
As was Johnson.
Oh, he was 17.
This I didn't even answer. They didn't listen
sorry.
to the question.
I got you.
Doesn't even listen for the question. 16.
Okay, Bob, I will tell you right now, I really thought it was 16, but then the way you responded told me right there, like O's over here. I got it nailed. I knew it was 17 by reading your face.
This date, 1892, GE is formed. General Electric, one of the large conglomerates in the United States. 1896, the closing of the first modern Olympiad, the Olympic Games, taking place over in Greece, in Athens. 1912, the RMS Titanic finally sinks at 2:20 a.m., 2 hours and 45 minutes after hitting that iceberg. 710 of the 2,224 people survive. Probably get close to the Hall of Fame in baseball. Probably not what you like in your survival rate. But speaking of baseball, this day 1947, Mr. Jackie Robinson debuts for the
In
Brooklyn
breaking
Dodgers.
baseball's color barrier, Robinson endured unending insults, even from his own teammates.
They had a petition out that they weren't going to play with him. And I said, he's going to play in this club, and you better wake up, boys, because he's only the first of many to follow.
The historic moment came on April 15th at Ebbets Field against the Braves' Johnny Sane. In that game, Robinson sparked the Dodgers on a comeback and then went on to win Rookie of the Year.
There we go. Did you bow at him too?
No, Bob, see, now I'm getting a bad rap on this one.
You know, Aragon, you've never seen Lord of the Rings. And he leans down at the Hobbit, said, you bow to no one.
I own the books.
Have you ever read the book?
No, but I'm saying I own the books. I remember my grandmother giving me like the.
What good is a book that you don't read?
It was a red box with three of them. The first,
yeah.
Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, or whatever. I don't know what they were. There was the Return of the King or Towers, something.
Look at that. I mean, we're getting them.
I'm saying, like, I remember having the books. And I remember
title.
opening up.
There's the
first one.
Fellowship.
Fellowship of the Ring.
Twin Towers
Yep.
is 2. Return of the King and the Hobbit is the first.
There were the 3, and I remember opening up the first one when I was like 11, and then thought, where's that Dennis the Menace comic book?
I'd rather go smoke cigarettes at my alternative school.
Never smoked a cigarette, Bob.
That was your present for doing a good job. Your on track sticker. Here's a Marlboro Red. This date 1955. McDonald's claims this as the founding day as they opened their franchise led by Ray Kroc in Des Plaines, Illinois.
Speed, that's the name of the game. The first stop for every McDonald's hamburger is the grill, manned by 2 cooks whose sole job it is to grill those all-beef beauties to perfection. Meanwhile, as the patty cooks, our dressers get the buns ready. Watch out. Burger crossing. Burger crossing. Burger crossing. Every McDonald's burger has 2 pickles, pinch of onions, and a precise shot of ketchup and mustard.
Now, where'd you get those?
We made them.
Made them?
Yeah, custom built. Home kitchen is. Next is the finishing station where we put the whole thing together. Voila, a fresh, delicious burger from grill to counter in 30 seconds.
There you go. A fresh,
Sounds healthy.
delicious burger. Back then, they weren't that bad.
Yeah.
They've gotten worse.
McDonald's used to be a real treat when I was a
It
kid.
used to be great. I went to McDonald's last summer, and it was terrible. I had like aspirations of it being really good, the memories of the good double cheeseburger. It was not good. I think I've had dog food that tasted better.
My
You know how
da-
dog food tastes? Just how it smells. Delicious.
when we'd stop at one in Russell's Point on the way to either Van Wert or Salina, just past Belle Fountain or
Yeah.
Bellefontaine, if you want to be fancy. And my dad used to always, it would cause a fight because the other kids just order whatever, and I always had to have 2 plain cheeseburgers. And back then, McDonald's was not as quick as they might be now on special orders.
That was
It'd be
Wendy's.
that-
Have it your way.
Right. So it'd be pull forward and wait, and like it'd take another 4 minutes for my 2 plain cheeseburgers to come out. And my dad would get so mad about it because it's screw up time and all the cars that passed him now, and he had to.
You should have listened to Schlegel's dad.
Oh, I know it's Schlegel's. Yeah, the Big Macs and just eat them.
Eat the special
Yes,
sauce.
Right.
I don't like the special sauce. It's too much of your mother in you. Eat the special sauce. That's why you lost today and didn't win the wrestling tournament. Eat the special sauce, Thitoff. How about that? This date, 1889, Eternal Flame by the Bengals tops number 1 across the pond in the UK.
Is this burning an eternal flame? Say my name, sun shines through the rain.
Sunshine through the rain. The Bengals. Gotta love them. You a Bengals fan, Thitoff?
Yeah.
Not a Cincinnati Bengals.
No, not a Cincinnati Bengal. The actual Bengals, yes. Susanna Hoffs, who also didn't try to act a little bit, didn't do well there. But the Bengals, though, yes, they. It was just another Manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday because that's my fun day. My I don't have to run day.
I believe they sang Walk Like an Egyptian.
Yeah, there you go. See, Bob, I did it for you.
There you go. Who's their lead singer?
Susanna Hoffs. That's the one. Yep. The dark hair woman, Susanna Hoffs.
Are you sure that's
Yep.
right? Okay. I'll lean into you. That's more your era. I thought it was someone else. I'll get to that in a minute. All right. Here we go. Hitting number 1 in the United States, though, on this day, the Fine Young Cannibals. She drives me crazy. Love that song.
Yeah, it's a good song. It's a good one to sing, too.
Is it? You sound just like him. I'm guessing you do. Don't worry, on that date in 1989 as well, Tiananmen Square riots began after the shooting of one of the students over there in China. They had like tanks just running over students.
Sure.
Over there. It was great.
Sounds awesome. Sounds like Grand Theft Auto.
It really is. I
It
mean,
was 1988, you said?
Yeah, 89.
89. So I was working at Tom McCann at Northland Mall selling shoes. And I remember the coked up general manager of the store.
Were you in high school with this?
89, this time of year, yes, over in high school, yes. And the coked up general manager comes over to me and says, now I'm still young and impressionable, Bob. He's like, telling you right now, Jeff, you better get ready. You're going to war. Like very aggressively.
You want to go to war, Balakia?
Right. He said, you see what's going on? Get ready. You're getting drafted. You're going to war. And I'm just trying to find these Converse 9.5 for this kid who's there with his dad. But, like, it freaked me out. For about 24 hours, I was really worried I was going to war. Balake.
There we go. In this date, 2013, sad day in American history. The Boston Marathon bombing occurred, killing a handful of people, I think close to 20, injuring close to 300 or 400. The Tsarnaev brothers.
This is an ABC News special report. Verdict in the Boston Marathon bombing trial. Now reporting, George Stephanopoulos.
And we are coming on the air because the jury deciding the fate of Boston Marathon bomber Johar Tsarnaev has reached a verdict. They have sentenced him to death. 7 men and 5 women reached this decision after about 14 hours of deliberations and after finding Tsarnaev guilty of all 30 charges against him. That was in the first phase of the trial last month. 17 of those charges could have resulted in the death penalty. All for the crimes of April 15, 2013, when Tsarnaev's bombs and the terror that followed resulted in the deaths of 4 people, injuries to more than 260 others.
There you go.
Is that one they found one of the guys in the boat.
In the boat.
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah.
Prestige Worldwide. Hiding in the boat.
Boats and hose.
There you go. Great Netflix documentary on that. Bodie and I were talking about it yesterday. Very, very good to watch. This date, born on this date, 1452, the famed inventor and artist Leonardo da Vinci.
He was a turtle. I know that.
There you go. Absolutely. I was waiting for some astute comments there. Turning 55 today, former New York Giants and USC cornerback Jason Sehorn.
When the Eagles finally made some noise, the Giants blew their horn and blew away Philadelphia.
Over to center. Drops straight back. Giants on a blitz. McNabb hit as he throws. Swings it right. And the pass nearly. It is intercepted by Sehorn. He's got it on the run. Down the left sideline. Cuts it to the 10. 5. Touchdown.
It looks like it's just going to be a regular old pass breakup.
What a play by Sehorn. Unbelievable athleticism.
Tore his ACL, was never really the same. on a kickoff return in the preseason. Really talented player, though, for the Giants, part of their Super Bowl run in 2000.
Married to Angie E. Harmon.
Was.
Yeah, it was married to Angie E. Harmon, yeah.
They've been divorced for like 10 years
It's been a while now, yeah.
She was on Law and Order, Bodie.
All right.
Seen it.
Turning 48 today, Milton Bradley, the former Major League Baseball outfielder. Chris Stapleton also turning 48 today.
Solo artist or in a band?
Solo artist.
Okay.
You don't know who Chris Stapleton is?
I don't. I thought it was the lead singer for Coldplay there for a second. I wasn't sure that one was.
What?
Who's the lead singer for
Chris
Coldplay?
Martin?
Okay. They both named Chris.
Not even close.
Well, I understand.
They look
alike at least.
I was expecting, though, I was expecting a Coldplay song. I hear that. I'm like, wait, that's not Coldplay. Is this guy in a band or is he solo? That's all, Bob.
He is definitely not Chris Martin. Turning 44 today. Curious what you scooped up from him, Mr. Seth Rogen.
So it's just McLovin?
Yeah.
That's badass.
It is badass.
Really
It's a
cool.
badass name.
Yeah.
A lot of people have weird names nowadays.
Chingy, Shakira, Rafe, Pax.
We arrested a man-lady who was legally named
Man
I think his
lady.
Vietnamese was with a PH,
Yeah.
but it's still pretty shocking to see on a license.
Yeah.
Okay, and how old are you, McLovin?
Old enough.
Old enough for what?
It's a party.
That is great. I forgot about him. And who's the other guy from SNL?
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader. As the police officers in there. You know what's amazing is I had a good friend growing up. And, went to college. Really wasn't for him. Went to a couple colleges, actually. And we were talking, and he was like, I think I'm going to be a cop. He's like, I watched Superbad. He goes, inspired. He goes, I'm going to be a cool cop like one of those guys. He's not a cop that's not cool. I'm like Joe Rogan? Or not Joe Rogan, Seth Rogen? I'm like, that's unbelievable. It was remarkable to see that. And those guys, very, very funny, very, very entertaining. Awesome to see. Good poll by you there, Bodie. Turning 42 today, former draft mate of mine. I think he was taking the pick before me or after me. I don't know if he was 17 or 19. I'm pretty sure he was maybe he was 19 or 21. He was right around when I was. Former four-time Pro Bowler, NFL cornerback from Florida State, and very fertile as well, Antonio Cromartie.
When you're on the football field, you have to turn, all the aggression on. But as soon as you leave and get home, you got to be that father figure, that husband. Yeah, Alonzo, who is 5. I have Karis, who is 3. I have my junior, which is 3. I have my daughter, who just turned 3 as of yesterday.
3 threes?
I have another son named Tyler. He turns 3 in December. I got another daughter that was born October 16th named London. Another daughter that was born named Leilani, who's 2 years old. And I have my newborn with my wife. Her name is Jersey.
It's 8 by my count, I think.
But how many? There were a bunch of 3s in there. That was a hell of a year. That's a heck of a day.
So here's what's amazing about Hard
He was
Knocks
after you. He
is
was 19.
19.
Yep.
I thought because Chad Greenway was 17.
Yep.
But he, it wasn't as rough as that. I had talked to him about it, and he goes, listen, he was at Nick's funeral. Him and Nick played together with the Jets. And we had talked about this before. And they kind of did him wrong. And they asked him multiple times, now who was this and who was that? And then they cut it all together to make it look far worse than what it was. And believe me, I have 4 kids, and for me to put all their ages on their names, it takes a second. And just trying to remember, have they turned this or have they not? When were they born? And all those different things. And so they made it look worse than what it was. However, it was funny, though. Entertaining, nonetheless. Of Harry Potter fame, Emma Watson turning 36.
Stop. You're going to take someone's eye out. Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
You do it then if you're so clever.
Go on.
Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Oh, well done. See here, everyone. Miss Granger's done it. Splendid.
There we go. Little Harry Potter. What one was that from? Early on.
I've never seen any of them, honestly.
That was
but
early on.
It was really early because she was really young.
She was very young. Also, curious to see what you pulled from her. Probably pretty young. Turning 29 today. One of the youngest stars from the program. Some people know her as Arya Stark, but Macy Williams.
Be gone now, Arya.
Come with me. Run.
The first sword of Bravos does not run. What do we say to the god of death?
Not today.
Not today.
Something wrong with your leg, boy.
What do you mean?
Can you walk? I've got to carry you.
Carry me?
Find a little blade. Maybe I'll pick my teeth with it.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
You said it's from the program? Is that what you said?
I said it's from, one of the youngest people maybe in the program at the time. The program is Game of Thrones.
Okay, now, thank you.
Not the movie, the program.
Because there was the program like that was the football movie.
The fact that you haven't seen that is
I've seen most of that
the
one.
football movie.
With James Caan.
Yes.
Right? Okay, there's that one. There's also a movie.
Halle Berry's also in it.
Okay, there's also a movie called The Program that is about Lance Armstrong. And so I was expecting either of those. You said the program. I wasn't sure we were going Game of Thrones.
The fact that you've never seen the program, the football movie, like the fact that you consider yourself a sports enthusiast and haven't seen most of the football, like most of the sports movies out there, especially football movies, I find that highly interesting and moderately disappointing.
It's exhausting is what it is, Bob.
I've told you that before as well. Some passings today. Passing away on this day, 2024, Whitey Herzog. And your guy, one of your favorites, when you start talking about some of the great folks that passed away and great leaders of all time. Stalin, Hitler, 1998, the Cambodian man himself, Mr. Pol Pot.
That's a real dude.
You're the one that threw him in there.
I know, I did with the poll, because I've heard the name before, the Pol. I get it, yeah, but I just didn't know that was...
Oh, he's a real guy.
He was, but yeah.
Oh, he's passed away. Killed a lot of people. They passed away,
Allegedly.
too. It is Jackie Robinson Day. It is McDonald's Day. One Boston Day. Tax Day. Unless it falls on a weekend. That sucks day. Titanic Remembrance Day. Universal Day of Culture and World Art Day. And those historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date. Wednesday, April 15th. Tax Day, the 105th day of the year. 260 days remaining this 2026.
Well done as always, General. If we had a poll question, I would say, what is better, to be a survivor of the Titanic or to die on the Titanic? What would be better for your legacy?
Well, if you died on the Titanic, you died in the water.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, but what would be a better legacy? Would you rather be someone who died or survived?
It depends if I was going to throw that huge jewel off the back of the boat.
Well, yeah.
Be a selfish bee and not give that to somebody else. You know, give it to your granddaughter who took care of you.
Right.
Or not.
Right. Yeah. Tomato. Coming up next, I always joke about vacating wins, but for one Big Ten football team, it ain't no joke. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
I'm Brianna Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love, We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Wrinkles, gray hair, and hearing loss are common signs of getting older. But being short of breath, having tightness in your chest, coughing, and wheezing are not. If you are experiencing these symptoms, you may be one of the millions of people who are living with a condition called COPD but don't know it. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years of better breathing to your life. For more information, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Bob, Iowa is vacating wins. 4 of them.
A wins vacation.
Does that affect? I didn't even look at did that affect anywhere where he's at in the rankings as far as?
It's 209 now, which I think still puts him as it's first overall in the Big Ten. I don't think that impacted that.
It's the wins. It's difficult, Bob, if you are a mediocre quarterback and you vacate wins for a mediocre quarterback. That's the part that bothers me.
The best is that how it went about and who it was for McNamara.
Cade McNamara, the former Michigan quarterback,
is remarkable.
If you're going to tamper with somebody before the portal opens, Iowa should have picked a better quarterback than Cade McNamara.
Oh, he was the best available at the time.
Best available at the time. That's how I got married the first time, Bob. But apparently, Kirk Ferentz and their
That's how Heather got married the second time.
Exactly. You're right. Yes. Best available at the time. Anyway, they reached out to him before Ferentz did, and also the assistant coach, before they were allowed to do that. And Iowa is saying, like,
he admitted it openly.
He did, but then he said, I'm disappointed in the NCAA decision today. Throughout the process, our program has been open and honest about my mistake. Contacting a potential player in the hours before it's permissible by NCAA rules. I felt it was important to make amends for the issue, which is why I voluntarily served a 1-game suspension to start the 2023 season. I believe today's decision by the NCAA vacating 4 wins in our 2023 season is overly harsh and inconsistent with the violation. As I tell our team and staff, it is how you respond and move forward that defines you. Isn't that from one of the Rocky movies?
I was going to say, that sounds like some movie quote somewhere.
Isn't that the one where, like, how many times you get knocked down and how many times you get up? Was that?
I think that's Batman.
I don't know if that's Rocky.
No, I think Rocky said it to his son in Rocky 5.
That's not the quote, though.
What was it, though? Was it something close to that?
Not really.
It's
not about how hard you hit. Life will beat you to your knees, and you'll lay there if you let it. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Feels like I was close.
Not really.
Tomato. We'll agree to disagree on that one, Bob. But anyway, the fact that he said tell our team and staff how to respond and move forward that finds you. Our focus is on the 2026 season, and that's how we are moving forward. He was 4-1. McNamara was before he had a knee injury there. And they said McNamara was ineligible for the wins over Utah State, Iowa State, Western Michigan, and Michigan State.
some iconic games. You remember those, Bodie?
Yeah, I certainly do.
Like
I'm guessing Iowa scored 17 points. In all of them combined.
Yeah.
Yes.
That classic Cy-Hawk battle back then. That victory over Western Michigan. What's amazing is this is over a player who was mediocre at best, who got hurt the 5th game of the season or 6th game of the season. In the 5th, didn't play anymore. And you're vacating wins, which is nonsense. And they're talking about tampering when Lane Kiffin's like, I have text messages from a player on my team from another coach when the portal was open or closed, them trying to solicit him over. And we're not going to do anything about that?
Is vacating...
Miami had a player that started in the national championship game that came to them after the portal was closed and just transferred down there and just joined the team, started playing. Like, imagine if they would have won the national championship.
Ugh, I don't want to imagine that, Bob. It's not a world I want to live in.
It's not. It's a world that nobody does. But are you kidding me? Like, this is where we're at now? And you're going to go back to this and be like, well, you've got to vacate those 4 wins. Or like, this is nonsense.
So the two questions I have, one is, first, Bob, is vacating wins even a punishment anymore? I don't. It
is if you're an all-time wins leader.
Okay,
if that would have like knocked him out of that,
right,
and he had retired already,
right.
This is like Bernie Mac and Mr. 3000.
Didn't that get Paterno, right? He had to vacate a bunch of wins. That
for what?
Right, I know exactly. But I think Paterno had to vacate wins that knocked him down the list. I don't think Bowden never had to, but I'm sure Bowden had to vacate some. But like, I don't know how big of a punishment it is, first of all. And then, yeah, you're the mediocre player, having to give him up for a mediocre player. That's the part I think that is the most egregious of all this.
Yeah, if you're going to cheat.
Right.
Go pay for, Justin Fields in the portal, not Cade McNamara.
It's amazing.
Bob, the timing used to be.
And what's also is that this is happening overtly everywhere else. And he talked about contacting an average quarterback a couple hours before the portal opened.
Right, because there's a huge market for Cade.
And he admitted to it, and then all of a sudden, now this is the biggest deal in the world.
It used to be, Bob, I remember there were times when players would not look at the calendar, how it works out anymore, and you have better insight on this, I'm sure. But was it Reggie Germany who had the alleged 0.0?
I don't know if it was alleged. He didn't play in the bowl game.
I didn't want to throw accusations
he was ineligible.
Okay, but I know there were sometimes there were guys who would stop going to class but could still play in the bowl game because they knew they were going pro and they'd be eligible because the
as long as you didn't have a 0.0.
Okay,
like you literally had some number,
right?
0.1,
anything.
Yes,
you were fine.
Okay, so I remember the Germany thing, but there used to be a thing I haven't heard about that much lately of that happening where somebody is. Oh, my gosh, this guy stopped going to class for the last 6 weeks, but he still played in the bowl game. What a controversy.
There was a player who left within the last 5 years. I was like, is he really going to leave? Like, does this make great sense for him? And then I remember hearing someone telling me this, or they're like, he won't be eligible to play next year. I'm like, that's a thing?
Right.
Like, really? Of all the stuff going on now, like academic eligibility is a thing. They're like, unfortunately, it is still. But like, he would not have been eligible to play next season. I'm like, that's crazy.
So, that's something. I don't hear much about that kind of stuff anymore, and I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if it's just people are smarter or they have a better way of doing it if the calendar changed.
Well, I think, too.
School that easier.
Well, and maybe hand in hand with that, Carp. Like, no, there is not a program in the country that wants their players to be failing out. And, like, these guys have so much help nowadays. And I'm not saying that in terms of like cheating, although I'm sure some schools, maybe down in the southeastern part of the country, might be probably doing that. But I think just like the amount of like academic help and whatnot these guys have, and it's not that hard to stay eligible. Like, I don't think even the football players taking the toughest classes, I don't really think or toughest majors, I should say.
I don't know if any of them major in tough things. Not any of them, but there aren't a large percentage of players.
Yeah, but even the ones who do, like, I really don't think it's not that hard to get like C's. I know, C's get degrees, but it really is not that hard just to pass. I don't think. I guess for some people it may be, but
I was trying to think of players that I remember who at least publicly said they were going to Krenzel was going for what, like molecular physics or something? I don't know what it was, Bob. I'm making it
amazing.
up.
You are making it up.
Okay, what was
So
he
it doesn't
going
even
for?
make sense. Molecular biology.
Well, okay, that's what it was. Okay.
On the right path.
I took biology and physics both in high school. I just got confused a little bit. Robert Smith's going to be a doctor. I remember that. And then he left the team because he said they were trying to make him go to summer stuff that instead he wanted to take classes. There was a big dispute about that when Smith left.
Which is pretty amazing because the summer workouts are like 2 hours long. I mean, you have the rest of the day.
So, okay,
Wow.
so I'm glad. So that was blown out of proportion by Robert Smith.
I mean,
it was a bigger deal than he made it a bigger deal than it really should
How
have
did
been.
Krenzel do it?
Did Krenzel, I don't even know what Krenzel, did he finish with a degree in that?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. That's what I was asking. I didn't know if he did. And I mean, under Robert
Sells
Smith's not a
insurance.
doctor.
He's an insurance salesman now, but has a degree in that. Hartsock has a degree in something similar as well.
Oh, does he really?
Some sort of high-level science,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, it's possible.
Aaron Kraft, he's a doctor.
He's a
now,
doctor.
isn't he?
Kraft's a doctor.
He's
Simon's a
in
doctor.
his residency, but Simon did not major in that. He majored in sociology or criminology, one of the two. Kraft maybe was pre-med. I'm not sure if he was or not, but he is in his residency or fellowship now. He's technically a doctor.
If Simon's criminology and a doctor, that's got, I mean, Bob, that right there is a show. If you get somebody who's criminology and a doctor,
I don't need another crime drama, another watered down
Chemistry teacher turns into meth dealer.
it feels
no,
like,
that's more what we're talking about.
I think that Simon's got a show. I think we got a show there. You can just, you know what you can call it? Simon Says.
I think you're onto something. You thinking more like network television, 22
Yes.
episodes a year, or like 4 seasons, start finish? Because I think if you go for the latter, you can really get into some deep stuff there.
No, I think he wants to do a watered down network
But
show.
yeah, that's
like
yeah.
Chicago.
You might pump out 12
Chicago
seasons and make a lot of money,
Fire,
but
Chicago ambulances or whatever it's called, or NCIS or
NCIS Hawaii, NCIS San Francisco, NCIS
Whatever.
Newark.
every NCIS Law and Order is just every
Yes,
city, and
it
not
is.
like New York, Boston, LA. I'm
No.
talking like, I mean, Columbus has got to be
why not
knocking on the door for one of those shows here soon.
Speaking of Simon Says, your guy was on Sesame Street and did a Simon. He was Simon Says.
Who's my guy?
Your guy from your Game of Thrones show.
I don't know what
Peter,
that means. Peter Drinkage?
Yeah. He was on a Sesame Street episode and he played Simon Says.
Okay.
I'm saying you go back and watch it because he's from his earlier work. But he was really good. He was Simon Says and his brother was a puppet. But
Muppet?
No, I think they're puppets on Sesame Street. They're Muppets when they're on the other
When they're
show.
Muppets.
I think they're puppets on Sesame Street. Another poll question there.
Which do you like better, puppets or Muppets?
Well, no, I'm saying which is Sesame Street puppets or Muppets? Because Kermit the Frog was on both. And he was a Muppet, but was he also a puppet?
The questions the world's asking right now.
Coming up next. We'll tell you. We'll give you some quick hitters, Morning Juice.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
I'm Meredith Garfalo, meteorologist at 10 TV News This Morning, and I'm an Ohio girl. I love golf, aerospace, and all things Ohio sports. For nearly 20 years, I've studied the patterns that shape our days, from winter wonders on the south side to dangerous storms along the I-71 corridor. When the weather changes, you'll be the first to know, because you need a forecast that moves as fast as you do. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We ask parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
Tito invited the new Russian family who moved in down the street to watch Rocky IV. It did not go well.
I must break you.
This is Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town? The opportunity to work alongside them as partners, whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area and will help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank. Or stop in to get to know them at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You okay there, Bode?
Yeah, I'll go just clear my throat.
All right, here we go. Let me clear my throat.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, fellas, happy Wednesday. We'll start here. A little college basketball for the Ohio State Buckeyes and what might be the most critical offseason of his young head coaching career to date. Jake Diebler's portal acquisitions will surely have a massive impact on the Buckeyes next year as they look to retool their roster heading into year 3 under Diebler. So far, Ohio State has added 2 prospects from the portal, former Michigan and more kind of significantly here last season, California guard Justin Pippen, son of Scotty. He averaged 14, 4, and 5 last year for the Golden Bears. And then Andrea Yelovich from Kentucky. He averaged 6 points and 5 boards a game last season for the Wildcats. One additional note on Yelovich here. He is just going to be a sophomore this year, but he actually played 2 seasons in the ABA league overseas. So he comes to Columbus as, just like I said, a sophomore, but he'll be 22 years old next season. So pretty good age there on him. Tito Pippen feels a little bit more of the kind of, we'll say, Micah Parrish caliber, 14 points a game in the ACC last year. Pretty solid there. And then Yelovich are probably banking on a little bit more potential in that one.
Yeah, I would think so. And it's a Kentucky guy, and every time a Kentucky guy comes here now, I automatically compare him to my Bradshaw.
For one so far.
Yes, who was allergic to paint. The Pippen thing, Bob, the big scare about Pippen is the fact that this is his 3rd school in 3 years. And maybe it shouldn't matter, but I look at that, and that's a bit of a red flag for me if you bounce around like that.
Do you know how many of those other guys playing in the final couple weekends of college basketball had been to a different school every year?
I don't know if they've been to 3 in 3 years. I'm sure some of them that have transferred, yes. I mean, I know Michigan was full of transfers. But I don't know the number on it, Bob. So how
about 3 and 4 years?
Well, 3 and 4 years is better than 3 and 3 years.
I guess. It doesn't really matter anymore.
That's why I don't know if it does. I go back, Bob, it harkens back for me with the when you have the guys that transfer 3 times in high school and bounce around because they're going to be at this school, and I'm going to Georgia, so I'm going to recruit players. I'm going to go to Ohio State, and I'm going to recruit players for here, and I'm going to do all this stuff. And you go to all these different schools. It reminds me of Tate Martell, who went to how many schools? Ohio State to Miami to UNLV, all these different things. It's just, and maybe it shouldn't be a red flag anymore. Maybe that's still because I'm thinking earlier transfer portal when it was open to everybody. You could transfer many times you wanted. But I just, Pippen, the 3 schools, Michigan, then Cal, and then here. I hope he does great. I'm just telling you my initial thought is 3 schools in 3 years.
Is he related to Scotty?
He is Scotty. Yes, he is Scotty's son.
There you go.
But I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, Scotty's wife's dating Jordan's son.
That's Bob. That's we're getting here, Bob. We're talking about a Springer episode all of a sudden, maybe, where yes, you've got that, and I don't know. I don't know which if it's.
I don't think it's good or bad. It's just a thing. It's just part of his story.
Thing or not a thing.
Yeah, it's just it's a thing.
That's a great segment there. We should do
Is it
something
a
like
good
that.
thing, bad thing? No, I think it's just a thing. It's part of his story. This is the reality of what college athletics is right now. So if you're not going to bring that guy in, I think Jake Diebler noted your objection on this, Thitoff, but said, if I think he's the best guy for the team, I'm going to go get him.
Next up here, 8 days from tonight, it'll be another very strong first round of the NFL Draft for Ryan Day's program, as the Buckeyes will surely have 4 players selected, and the opening round could be 5 if Cade McDonald finds his way, probably in the back half of the first round there. Erring on the side of caution, let's say it's 4 rather than 5. That would mean Ohio State would have 19 players taken in the first round since Ryan Day took over as head coach back in 2019. And Brad Crawford of CBS Sports decided to rank the 10 best from the list of 19. And here's what he came up with. I'll go 10-1 here. 10 is Jeff Okudah. Number 9, Paris Johnson. Number 8, Maserati Marvin Harrison Jr. Justin Fields comes in at number 7. Chase Young at number 6, Chris Olave at number 5, Emeka Egbuka at number 4, Garrett Wilson at number 3. Shout out to Brian Hartline as I just read this list. Number 2 is C.J. Stroud, and then number 1 is the most recent Super Bowl champion, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Carp, what do you think about as I ran through those 10 names there?
Pretty good list.
Right?
A lot of receivers. I mean, is that based upon how good they were in college or what they did in the NFL?
I think it was coming out of school, if I am not mistaken,
because I don't know that Jackson was like the best guy coming out of school then.
See if I can find
exactly. I mean, I would say CJ. I would look at Marv. I mean, there were other guys that were top 5 picks. Jackson went in what, like 16?
Sounds about right. Yeah. I mean, I would have, especially if we were looking coming out of school, like Chase Young would have been hard to top.
Oh yeah,
man. Like he
was supposed to be so
dominant.
Jackson was the Jack Smith and Jig was the number 20 pick by the Seahawks in 2023.
So I mean, Chase was supposed to be the guy. And listen, there still is opportunity for him to continue to improve, and he's actually put together a nice little career here at the back end of it. But I'm with you. I guess what I was trying to figure out is it how good they were supposed to be at the beginning, or how good they actually were at the.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't kind of specify here in the article anywhere. So
just make it up as he goes.
On Chase,
like,
Bob.
Maybe it was just his 10 favorite guys. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I just like the 3 names. So JSN, number 1.
Chase, I know he had the ACL injury early in his career.
Yeah.
Is that what? I don't want to put this because he has carved out a nice career, but the way he came in and the hype he had, I would have expected maybe more at this point. Is the injury the reason?
Sure.
Is it scheme? Is it what do you like? Can you think of something else it might be? Because I don't like. I've never heard about like a work ethic thing with him.
No, he's not lazy.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it's just situation, coaching, scheme. I mean, he was in Washington. They had a lot of issues. He goes to the Saints, played all right. He had an injury. Like, there's just a number of things that can all kind of happen in concert together, and that's part of his journey and story at this point.
One of the things about Justin Fields that often gets discussed is how many different regime changes, how many OCs he had to work with in Chicago in a short period of time. Right? There was like more than normal, I would think, as far as a quarterback comes in, and they have different OCs come through. And I understand why that could be an issue for a quarterback, a young quarterback. But then I think, Bob, about Ohio State now. This will be another OC for Sayin.
Yeah, but it's the same.
Days of difference?
It's the same terminology.
Okay.
You're not changing. It's what Ryan said. You run the Ohio State offense. Like, that's what they want to do on the defense. Like, you're keeping the system. You're keeping the system the same. The terminology. You can tweak things within the system, but a big piece of it is when you come in here, especially for Arthur Smith, is taking your concepts and then renaming a lot of that and integrating that into the system that you're running, as opposed to just having to have someone learn basically a whole new language every year and understand it. That's what it boils down to.
That's the part that I Okay, so that makes sense then, because I wondered if Day was the fact that Day was overseeing. And you're right. Day says the Ohio State offense. And I know you've got your OCs that come through, but the OCs, I'm sure they'll have their own.
Yeah, they have their own terminology,
their own philosophies.
Because the point is, and Urban said this, I think, one time, or maybe Nick Saban. Why would I have half of my team change when I can just have one person change? And I'm paying you.
Right.
That was back before you could pay players. So that's the solution.
Okay. I wonder about the 3 times in 3 years was saying if that was a significant thing or not. But the fact you brought it, the Day thing, though, and the fact that it's the Ohio State offense sounds like that is really the difference there. So, but yeah, so a third OC in 3 years, though, for saying, but, we get the continuity, though, of a lot of the coaching staff there. And so that also doesn't hurt that he has a pretty damn good receiving core there as well. We'll get more into that as we get close to the spring game and as we get into the regular season and whatnot, all the preseason stuff, we'll do all of that. Coming in next, top of the hour, Bob, you want to hear what Rick Bowness had to say after the Jackets 2-1 loss to Washington. We will play that for you, so it's a solid clip. That's next. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring is here, and it's time to hit the road with something new from Germain Toyota. Right now, get into a rugged 2026 Toyota Tundra with just 2.99% financing for up to 72 months. Power, performance, and capability ready for every spring adventure. Or cruise into the season with a 2026 Tacoma SR5 for only $299 a month for 36 months and $39.99 due at signing. Fresh deals, fresh rides. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net. There is nothing more meaningful you can do for yourself, your family, and friends than finally getting rid of that pain so they can enjoy that time with you again, especially heading into vacation season. Here, let me help you. It's Bobby Carpenter, and Dr. Tesner and his team at QC Kinetics take care of your pain in the office so you can go right along with your day. It's that easy. So if you say yes to any of these questions, you're the kind of patient QC Kinetics regenerative treatments can help every day. I have consistent pain in my joint, knees, hips, shoulder, back. Pain keeps me from getting a good night's sleep. I'm missing work or saying no to things that I love. I don't want surgery or a long-term recovery. I am at the end of my rope, and taking medications every day is just going to get me through the day. I don't want to do it anymore. So if you want to do that, go check out your free consultation over with my friends at QC Kinetics in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices in Dublin and in Gahanna.
I lost count of how many foster homes I lived in. 20, maybe more. Each time, a new family, a new room, but never a space that felt like mine.
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a permanent home.
Now I have my own room and decorated it myself. And just like my family, it's mine to keep.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. This community is my home, and it means everything to me. I care deeply about the stories we bring you each day, especially the ones that truly impact your life, from women's health and advocacy to the decisions happening at the State House. My goal is simple: help you feel informed and connected, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Hey, are you driving high right now? You might be, because a whole lot of people do. They say marijuana makes them a better driver, more careful, more focused. That's probably what the guy who killed a 4-year-old thought. And now, he's in prison. You see, no matter what you tell yourself, if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS-FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice. Coaster Bob, right?
Yes, sir.
Bob, Jacket season ended last night without a playoff appearance.
Thing or not a thing?
That's a great question, Bob. Boy, I tell you, I'm glad we got these meetings.
Was it better or worse that we didn't have to drag it to last night and knew that it was over? I was watching some of it. I was out after my daughter's lacrosse game and
Did they
just
get a win?
watching. They did.
Good.
They ended up calling it in the fourth because of lightning, but they had a nice. Yeah, they had a nice win. Played really well. And we go to a local establishment, one of the Carsoni's. They had it on, and I'm like, started watching. I'm like, do I even care about watching this? Why am I doing this? It's like, so I just stopped watching and got into more of a conversation.
I had the press pass fired up if it meant something. I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to go there and watch this whole game.
What if somebody got sick?
Like at my house?
Yeah.
Well, I still would have gone, I think, on this one, Bob. I think
Really?
Yes.
Why not the
last
other
game
one?
of the season? The other one wasn't last game of the season, Bob. And by the way, I could say that now confidently because it didn't happen. I could say anything. And when it didn't happen, I consider just tell you whatever. I will tell you, if my wife would have said, hey, come home, I would say, you know what? Listen here, girl. Homie, don't play that. And I would have gone to the game. But Jackets lose. It goes back to our Titanic question, Bob. Because they died before last night. Would you rather have them die or play that game? What's better?
I don't know.
All right. Rick Bowness, though, here is him talk. These are all great clips. Here is Rick Bowness talking after the game about the way the Jackets ended their season.
Rick, you've been a part of a lot of games and a lot of seasons. Have you ever been part of something that's as frustrating as this has been down the stretch?
No. And you know what? All you got to do is look at the stat sheet. 3 hits, 23 giveaways. Like, I don't know if I'm back, but if I'm back, I'm changing this culture. These guys, they don't care. Losing is not important enough to them. It doesn't bother them. Like, how can you go out and play like that? Should have done this about a month ago. But this is why we are where we are. This is why we're out of the playoffs. That kind of effort. Losing, you have to hate losing. I don't care if it's a meaningless game. I don't care. Show up and compete. 3 hits, 23 giveaways. What else you want to know?
What else you want to know?
That's awesome. I like this guy.
Okay, Bob, there's more. Here's Rick Bowness talking about ending the season, losing all these games at Nationwide.
I think even in the long history of this franchise, I don't think they've ever lost 6 games in a row to end a season at home.
No.
Is that worse?
It's terrible. Inexcusable. If they're not embarrassed by, not only tonight, by that, they're on the wrong team. They are. They got to be embarrassed with that. Anything else?
Next question.
He did it like 2 more times.
Bowness talking about a team, Bob, how they folded.
Because it got tough. Because it got hard. Like we talked about after the Olympic break. It's going to get harder. So everything's good as long as it's going their way. And now it gets tough, we don't want to battle back. And that's what's happened over the last a couple of weeks. That's all that's happened. We're going to change that. If I'm back, I don't know if I'm back. Don and I will talk. We'll get to that. But man, oh man, some of those guys are so lucky the season's over and there's no practice tomorrow. Anyways, and there's no more games. What else you want to know?
Everybody get on that goal line.
Yes.
Blow the whistle, Craig.
I will tell you this. Based upon his comments right there, it sounds like he wants to be back.
That was my thought, too. Yeah.
He's like, we'll talk and see if they want me back. Like, it was more like, see if they want me back. After I take a flamethrower to this situation, see if they want me back. Because if I'm back next year, this is going to change. So it sounds like, hey, I want to coach this team. I think there's work to be done here. There's some meat left on the bone. What else you got?
Bob, okay, but the culture was fine 3 weeks ago.
Was it?
There was no talk about it. No, there was no talk
Was
Bob.
it? Just because you didn't talk about it, what are you supposed to say?
When they were on this, what are you
supposed to say?
When they were on their winning streak, Bob, when they were doing all the great start under Rick Bowness, you think the culture was bad at that point?
No, what he just said was true.
That
they have no desire to fight back from something. When you're winning, you don't have to fight back. When things are going good, you don't have to battle. It's easy.
And I think there's something to the fact that when he took over, and it's not like to take anything away from how they played those 2 months. They played really well. but I think there's something to playing when you have nothing else to lose, I guess, because they were already in last place.
Right.
Versus once, it was like kind of amazing how well they played, basically up until they moved into second in the Metro. And then that was immediately when it flipped.
Because it got hard. Because it got hard.
Because at that point, it's like, okay, this isn't some throwaway game up in Rochester anymore. But like, it's kind of easy when you go out there and it's, hey, man, what's the worst that can happen? We're already in last place. Whereas now when you start playing with a lot of pressure on the line,
right?
Basically every night they played at that point, and they completely fell apart.
Isn't it, though, also, it's damn hard to win when you've got nothing to play for.
Why? That's
okay. When they're in last place,
you would say that.
No,
you would say that. What do you mean nothing to play? Are they keeping score? Are they keeping score?
They're keeping score.
Then
Bob.
that's all
they
you
were
need.
in last place. I think if you can do what they did when they're in last place in a coaching change, I think that's very admirable. What they did.
You're a professional. I'm not looking for admiration. You're judged by wins and losses.
And they went on an incredible streak when they could have folded up the tent and said, the hell with this. This season's over. We're in last place. They just fired our head coach, brought in some 71-year-old off a boat, and we don't, and we suck.
All that shows is that they were better than what they were playing before. It wasn't the fact that they didn't have the talent they needed.
Okay.
It's the fact that they weren't getting the results because they weren't doing it the right way.
This is my thing, though, Bob. If they flipped it, why were they able to flip it? Was it because of coaching?
Because they started
because of culture?
playing harder.
Okay, why'd they start
started
playing?
doing things the right way.
They started doing things the right way. What changed?
Someone came in and got on their ass about it.
And then why did it stop?
Because when people realized they were good, and it wasn't then they weren't the easy game in the night, and they couldn't come in and sneak up on people, and then they had expectations, then they folded because they actually had something to lose.
And how much of that goes on the coach?
I don't put any of it on him. He just got there.
But I think he got credit for the turnaround.
Exactly.
Then why aren't we dinging him for the fault?
He came and told you what happened.
Okay.
You can yell till you're blue in the face. Doesn't matter. These are grown men.
Here's a bonus on if he wants to come back next season.
We scratched the itch. I'm going to talk to Don, as we said from there on, right? But I'm just, and the players were told tonight, if I'm back, we're changing this freaking culture. And we are. What do you got?
What do you got?
What else
If I'm
you
back,
want?
we're changing this culture. Be a pro. Show up. Play hard every single night the right way. And if you have enough talent, you'll win enough.
What's fascinating to me, Bob, is that you and Bodie and I say you and Bodie collectively, you both heard all this and you thought, I think he's back next season. You think like he's like to come back next season based on what you've heard from last night.
He wouldn't talk about if I'm coming back,
right?
Things are changing.
Yeah.
That's not like a guy that sounds like he wants to leave. I think he wants to improve it. He started coaching there and probably is like, we're a lot better. This team's a lot better than what they should be. There's a lot more juice that we haven't been squeezing out of this, and we're going to squeeze blood from the rock.
Ooh. And I would say, too, this whole time I just assumed it was just this year. Kind of a one-time deal, half-time deal, if you will.
Right.
And then he was going to be done. And I would have put that at probably, I don't know, call it 80%, we'll say.
Sure.
Leaving the 20% to like, well, maybe he really gets the itch and realizes this is a good team to move forward with the next few years. Or maybe they go on a deep run. Obviously, that didn't happen. Now I'd basically like flip that. I'm almost more like, I think, at least he wants to be. Doesn't mean that it'll happen. But
right.
I think before it was probably like, 20% chance he kind of wants to come back.
Right.
Now I think it's probably more, after hearing those comments, I think it's more 70 to 80% chance that he wants to come back.
But that's the part that seems to me, I had the completely different take on it. When I heard all that, when I listened to it, I thought, this guy's gone. Like, I didn't think he'd be back, but it's just funny to me, Bob, that you guys both, and I'm not saying you guys are wrong or I'm right.
Yeah, there's no.
But when I heard it, though, like, I had a different vibe from it. Like, this team, man, changing the culture, maybe I'm wrong on this, Bob, but at 71, talking about changing the culture of an organization seems like quite the overhaul when you talk about a team that for 25 years just had what many of us have said is the biggest faceplant in franchise history.
Yeah, and he's a part of that, and he ain't happy about it.
He's not happy about it, but at 70, at his age, so he'll be 72 next year if I'm doing my math right. If he was 71 right now, I would think sometime in the next year he'll turn.
Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
He'll turn 72.
Next summer, you'll be 6.
That's the part, though, Bob, that when I'm hearing him talk, I'm like, do the Jackets want him back? Do you think that
if they don't, I think it's an indictment on the organization.
Even if they want someone younger. So you don't. I guess I'm going to ask you, Bob. When you talk about changing the culture, I'm not thinking it's a switch you can just flip. I don't think it's a flippable switch. Let's put it that way. But so it's going to take.
You've got to change some players probably that are in there, and then the rest of it. To quote my man Walter Solchek, you got to grab them and beat it out of them.
Who's Walter Solchek?
Beatings will continue until morale improves.
Yes.
Who's Walter Solchek?
What's that from?
What is that from? I feel like I've heard the quote a million times. I don't know that I could tell you what it's from.
That's Walter Solchek is from The Big Lebowski.
Okay.
What the beatings will continue. What is that from?
It feels like one of those home moves we were talking about. I remember they couldn't have sound, but I remember seeing my dad say that.
I will say though, and this is not. This is something that's been talked about a lot since he showed up.
Yeah.
Is his age. I feel like that's honestly gotten pretty overrated at this point because to me, it's like, I don't know, in professional sports, everything is about the next 2 to 3 years.
Right.
Maybe 4 to 5. I mean, yeah, when the Raiders draft Mendoza next Thursday night, they want him to be the quarterback for the next 15 years.
Sure.
But like the rest of the roster and the coaches, like, isn't everything kind of on like a 2 to 4 year situation? Like, and so I would just think, like, if you feel like Bowness is the best guy, not just for next year, I'd say, it can't just be the next 12 months. It's got to be the next 2 to 3 years. But to me, if Waddell feels like he's the best guy for the job for the next 2 to 3 seasons, you worry about that, and we'll get to 2029 when we get to 2029, Yeah,
it's
to me, this isn't college football or college sports in general, where it's like, okay, Diebler's a brand new coach. We got to give him a few years to ramp up. But once he hits his stride in year 3, he's going to be here a decade. Like, that just doesn't even really exist.
Don't
in
even
pro
worry
sports
about
for
that.
the most part.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Tomorrow's got plenty to worry about. We're just going to deal with it right now.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to quote the guy from Kung Fu Panda. But this might not.
Master Oogway?
Yes.
I looked at that. They don't know who that's attributed to. Some people are attributing it to Voltaire, but the beatings will continue until morale improves.
Okay.
For the floggings.
Just the general population.
Yeah. I like it.
Older people are much younger today, Bob.
Off with the.
They are.
The philosopher.
50 is the new 40.
Older people are much younger today.
They are, Bob.
And 71's different for everybody.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I listened to that press conference last night, and I hear a guy who's got the fire in his belly as much as he ever has.
Yeah.
Some guys, You're
Billy Joel
71.
Right there. Start the fire.
But, okay, let me say this.
The fire.
I loved the way they played when he came on board.
Loved it until you didn't.
The thing is, life is about consistency, Jeff. This is what I don't think that you're comprehending with this. And this is why when you lose 6 games, that doesn't matter when you play the 7th. Because you should, in theory, be playing the same way all the time. Sometimes you're going to get the results. Sometimes you're not. And Torts used to talk about all the time. He's like, we played well and didn't get the result we wanted. Or we won and played like crap.
And Bowness, not to cut you off, Bob, but Bowness has given this team that he just ripped to shreds last night. He has given this group that compliment multiple times after losses, saying we play like that, we'll be just fine moving forward.
100%. You're going to win more than you lose if you do that. And sometimes you back your way into a win, and you'll take the 2 points and you'll move on.
Or even a point sometimes.
Even a point, doesn't matter.
Some of those losses, if they were an overtime loss,
right,
they would be
change
playing,
things, right, yeah.
But there's times where you play like crap and you get a win, and you probably shouldn't, and you know that you shouldn't. And you'll take the points and you're fine with it. But it's about showing up and doing things right all the time. That's why you say you folded. It gets emotionally and psychologically tough to show up every day and battle through things when you're tired, when you're beat up, when you're missing guys from the lineup, to show up and do it the same way over and over again. Because you know, at the end of the day, nobody cares. Nobody cares about the excuses. They don't care about, they had a lot of guys hurt. And there are explanations that come along with it. But with the end result, nobody cares. And it's awesome because at Ohio State, who did I have walk in there with me the other day? And we walk in there and they look up, and on the huge TVs they have in the weight room, it says nobody cares, because nobody does.
When I was listening to those comments, Bob, it also sounded like an indictment on the veteran leadership on this team.
It's an indictment on all of it.
Well, yeah, but I don't as much want like Fantilli or guys like that or Jet, but it sounded like it was more about Boone. It was more about Orwensky.
I don't know if it's all that.
I'm not saying just about that.
That's a part of it, possibly.
Right.
But some of it's the guys that you bring in, too. Like, you can't turn a cruise ship by yourself. Like, you need other people. It takes a long time to get things going in the right direction, so you got to bring in the right type of guys as well. You can't just say, well, leadership's got to get it done. Or are you going to give them permission to cut guys when they don't perform?
Do either of you think that any of these comments should not have been made publicly in front of reporters and instead been in the locker room?
They were made privately. I promise you that.
At some point, I don't mean.
That's why he waited
Yes.
till the end of the season.
Okay, I'm not saying either or.
That's why when you ask, like, well, why wasn't this a problem a month ago?
Right.
It probably was, and he addressed it with them as such. But he's not going to shred his team in the middle of in the middle of the playoff hunt.
Right.
During the season. I'll wait till the end.
Then what's the benefit of doing it that way last night?
Letting everybody know.
Okay, you let somebody know.
Someone asked a question. I'm going to answer it now. He doesn't care. I have nobody to protect anymore.
Should he care about that?
No.
Like I say, Bob,
No.
It's okay. Him taking the job, getting the job long term, him being offered the job long term, the changing of the culture, none of those things are decided last night in that press conference, which is why that's what I was thinking about. Is it necessary? Is it a good idea if you're about changing the culture and changing the way the team moves forward? Does it do anything to help that cause by ripping the team publicly?
That's not ripping the team. That's being honest.
Well, he did rip the team. It's honest. I'm not saying. I'm not saying Bobby did anything. Yeah, I'm not saying it's. The answer is yes.
If ripping the team if being honest means you're ripping the team, then I think at that point it doesn't matter anymore. What are you worried about? These guys not going to play hard tomorrow?
I wonder too if his mindset is like, well, what I did in this press conference, I did to the team multiple times.
Yes,
after losses.
Okay, yeah,
and that obviously didn't click. So,
I mean, he told him. Eventually, you have to address the issue.
I understand that, Bob, and I'm sure he did in the locker room with the players.
Okay.
But I'm asking, why do you have to do it publicly?
Because you're a professional athlete and you're getting paid, and they're going to ask you questions, and I'm not going to lie for you anymore. I'm not going to, as Parcells, I'm not going to protect you from mom, or I'm not going to be your mom anymore.
Then why not call out players individually? Then why not say, you know what, this is what happened down the stretch. Elvis and Jet did not get it done. Or say, you know what, Boone Jenner did not lead this team.
I don't know if it.
Maybe there isn't that.
I'm not sure there was.
Maybe it's not one guy.
Or even a few. Like,
okay.
I think it was. Now, I'm not saying every player played poorly, obviously, but it's like.
It's the
I
collective.
think it was probably most of the roster up and down. I mean, you play that bad.
Right.
That they have the last 2 weeks, give or take, whatever it's been, if they fell apart. Like, I don't know. I mean, if he started calling out individual players, he might as well just grab a roster and start naming it alphabetically top to bottom.
Yeah. I love these
He didn't go on a rant. He just answered the questions. It wasn't like he went in there with a 5-minute soliloquy on what went wrong. What else you got? Bring it.
Porty's like, I got another question.
Porty, you went on. There's a little Jack Nicklaus right there. Or Jack Nicholson. Hey, you want answers? I think I'm Italian. You want the truth? You can't. Here's the truth. You finally, you want to get to it? Here's what happened. I was protecting these guys for a long time. Curtains pulled now.
And I also think, too, And I understand your point about like, where is the line to be drawn of a coach just laying it all out there. But I also think it's pretty safe to say too that we have gotten so far away from that line that coaches and players, like, I mean, let's be honest, Julian Saint could go out there against Ball State, go 0 for 20 with 7 interceptions.
Right.
And if Ryan Day, not everybody, but if Ryan Day came out and said, Saint's got to play better, there would be some people saying, how dare he?
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man. Like, if he played, I don't think Julian Saint's going to have a bad day against Ball State. But it's like, the players played bad, and after 2 weeks of it, Bowness finally was like, you know what?
Right.
Here we go.
I'm done protecting you.
Yeah.
I love these talks, guys. This really inspires. This is this is invigorating.
The line of questioning of how you go about it, though, Jeff, is highly concerning to me about your view of how you think things happen and how they actually are portrayed versus what the reality is of what goes on.
Bob, that's what makes this great, though, is that we've got different perspectives.
Listen,
can I tell you something, big guy?
You have different personpersonalities, but you need the same mentality.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, you.
Yes, you.
I love you too.
I'm going to sit over here. We're going to choose our tea together. I'll give you a mega tease here, though, Bob. I don't know how many times we've had this guy on the show. Almost weekly. He's not wearing a hat today, and it looks like he may be getting inducted into the Army. I don't think I've ever seen Austin Ward without a hat on. Have you, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're not on YouTube, hop on there now, because Austin Ward, the hatless Austin Ward, maybe he's got lice and he can't wear a hat. I'm not sure, but then maybe it's why he's got his head shaved off. I don't remember. Not his head, just his hair. We'll talk to him next about Ohio State. This is Morning Juice.
I'm Brianna Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple: to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a bright, focused foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them, safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Yo, I'm your old basketball. Haven't seen you out on the courts in a while. Why not pass me over to Goodwill? Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. And that's a slam dunk. Donate today. Hey, I got next.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, please visit goodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice. Chris Hallett, Hall of Fame chatter, says, looks like Tito is getting learned during the break. It was getting learned. It was, I like disagreeing with you, Bob.
You can disagree all you like, but there's certain realities in this world, and there are facts. And you're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts.
That sounds like a T-shirt right there. This guy got his own facts. Here he is.
A guy who considers himself the mayor of Laramie, Wyoming, who holds the shuffleboard record at the Ranger, and most impressive, the commissioner of the Central Ohio Two-Man Scramble League. Here's Austin Ward.
Austin Ward. Look at him. No hat, Austin Ward today. Good morning, Austin.
Morning.
Spring game week is upon us here. I asked Bobby yesterday, when the spring game ends, what happens with the players and coaches? Is it like when you get out of school for summer break and you're throwing pencils and papers in the air and going away? Do you have more work? After the spring game ends on Saturday, after you file everything you need to file, stories and podcasts and whatnot, what happens with Austin Ward?
More stories, more podcasts, more conversation to get ready for training camp. It doesn't really slow down for us, Tito. So now there won't be as many new practices to talk about. There won't be any new practices to talk about. But May is actually, especially now, which this is a benefit for Ohio State, for Ryan Day, for Mark Pantoni, for Logan Hittle, that there's no renegotiation period. There is no post-spring transfer portal window, which last year wasn't overly busy, but certainly had some activity going on for Ohio State. And I think that some of that stability is going to be nice for everybody involved. But that has turned May into an even quieter month. I would say out of the 12 months on the calendar where, Berm, myself, and Bob, where you guys still talking about Ohio State football, you have to stretch a little bit more than you would otherwise, because once you get to June, you've got recruiting camps. The players are all fully on campus. They're going through, some of their optional work or doing team runs before those recruiting camps. And we've got a chance to be around the team a decent amount in June, July. Of course, you're going to have Big Ten media days and everything else ramping up towards the start of the season. But that stretch after Saturday, and the players getting a couple weeks off. Some of these players, Tito, have gone once they're done with school, done with finals, gone to train in Florida or Arizona, or gone to see their quarterback throwing coach over the last couple of years. It's a bit of a new world, but that does make it a little bit more boring in May. But that's a nice trade because January was absolutely bonkers.
Now, I felt like it was so exciting, though, last year, Austin, when all these guys came out of the spring wanting to redo their deals. And, are they getting in the portal? Do they stay or do they go? I mean, I feel like we've lost some of the fun and drama of that second portal season. The sequel was sometimes better than the original.
I like how there were a lot of people nationally that hyped up the sequel as going to be more insane than December and January had been. It's like, wow, these guys, they might opt out of the end of spring practice, or that they have a big spring game they're going to go in. It did not generally lead to as many, in fact, like almost no high-profile transfers. And some, but very few, because the obvious applies. These guys would have missed all of spring football. They would have missed all of winter workouts. You'd have to give them a new playbook. You have to learn that. Try to get as much as you can to prepare for August. It didn't really lend itself to being able to go make an impact in new places. And I think the Bo Atkinson example, someone that Ohio State did add after the spring portal window last year, is intuitive. It's very instructive for how, that may have been difficult to catch up. Some of those reps, some of the schemes, some of the workouts. I think you see Bo Atkinson this spring. He looks very different than the version that we saw, in my opinion, than we saw in August and September and contributing for Ohio State last year. So it did make it add a little bit more spice to the post-spring scenario, but for everybody across the country, it didn't really do a ton to remake their roster or allow you to plug holes with guys who were going to be big-time contributors. So I don't think anyone is sad to see it go. Ryan Day kind of described it as a pro and con situation because there is no NFL-style waiver wire that you can add to your roster to if you need to at this point. But I think that is going to be a trade that he would make 10 times out of 10.
Austin, just to clear things, you said spice. We like to say juice around here, not spice. You said spice. Juice is
my
the
mistake.
word juice. That's okay. I'm glad you brought Bo Atkinson. Bobby and I have talked about Bo a little bit. And when you say he looks different to you than he did, say, last August, September, do you mean different physically, different skill-wise, or both?
I think both. And, I've only seen, parts of 3 practices at this point, going to be taking full advantage on Friday morning of the final practice and basically a walkthrough during the coaches clinic, and then obviously the spring game. But I thought on Student Appreciation Day, some of the productivity was there. I mean, Bo Atkinson, it was maybe the first drive when they went during the team period, got in there, made a sack. I know that we can take some of that with a grain of salt if we're going to keep juicing it up in here. That the Ohio State offensive line is not maybe the single best barometer for what a player is going to do as they've been banged up, but you still can have confidence for making plays. And Bo Atkinson was doing that looked similar to, some of what he did during his final season at North Carolina. And I think, anybody who can survive in that Mickey Marotti program can take the coaching from Anthony Schlegel. They're going to get better physically. And so now Bo Atkinson has had a year of that at Ohio State. I think you see that showing up. But, in terms of technique, we know the kind of coaching that you're going to get at Ohio State from Larry Johnson, from Matt Patricia. He puts in the work. I think it was described to me. I don't like making these assessments because, far be it for me to judge the athleticism of these high-end performing athletes. But other people said, well, he was playing kind of stiff, like needed more, flexibility in the hips, needed some of that shin angle, right, Bob? And I don't think that he was playing with all of that as much as he maybe needed to be a real snap in, snap out threat for Ohio State last year. And I don't know if he's going to get to that point this year or not, but he's much closer based on what we're seeing and hearing throughout this spring camp.
Love it, Austin. What got practice today, then practice on Friday. There's no more availability until after the spring game, correct?
We've got the 2 largest position groups are talking after practice this morning. So we're going to be very busy in the Woody. We've got the offensive line, defensive line, Tyler Bowen, Larry Johnson, a smattering of Buckeyes on both sides of the line. So really going out with a pretty big bang on that front. Typically after the Friday practice in the Horseshoe, because it is over there, we don't have interviews, difficult to corral them. So then we'd have, so today we'll make the most of it. We'll also be around the team a lot more this last week. It's a really fun week to cover Ohio State football. I like to get as much of an education as possible on the coaches clinic evening on Thursday. Always go to that. Don't ever want to miss that. But then the practice that we get to see, and then obviously talking to those. We don't usually get a ton of players after the spring game either, Bob, because they're in a hurry to get over to see their families. Yeah. You've got the picnic and barbecue and all that, then saddle up in the evening for some folks. And that's fine too. So this is really the big one.
So, Austin, I'm sure that you have a bit of a game plan when you go to cover the spring game. You talked to Berm about it. One half of the beat with Austin and Berm, by the way. As far as your game plan is there stuff that you've got on your notepad? Like I want to see this. I'm curious. I'm whiskers about this. I want to see what happens in this. Like what about this team? Is there something specific or some specifics you're looking at going into the spring game?
Yeah, it might be more individual based in a setting like this than, because I don't obviously Arthur Smith and Matt Patricia aren't going to be unveiling a ton of schematic wrinkles for everyone to watch on a national broadcast. In fact, last year, I think Matt Patricia said afterwards that they only ran like 2 defenses, 2 coverages throughout the whole day. And that it was helpful for Julian Sand, helpful for Lincoln Keenholz, but it didn't give you a real idea of what he was going to be doing against Texas, and you can certainly understand why. But so for me, if you narrow down that focus, I really don't think that the offensive line is in position to have a really encouraging day on Saturday. But Ian Moore might have a handful of reps that we can glean. If he wins a couple times against whoever, Bo Atkinson, Kenyatta Jackson, Quay Rousseau, whoever it winds up being, I think that would be encouraging. It would be the last idea that you sort of plant in the minds of, the fan base, for one, that gets to watch and has been, really intent on seeing improvement from the offensive line, or even concerned in some respects. You see that, and then maybe that points you more in that direction, that Austin Sarabeld will wind up at right guard and Ian Moore can take that left tackle job. I kind of think that that's what's going to happen. If I had to place a wager on that right now, not that I could or even that I should, I think that's probably the way it's going to wind up for the Ohio State offensive line. But then you expect that the passing attack is going to be pretty prominently featured. So, are there opportunities where Dominic Kelly or Cam Calhoun at cornerback, get their hands on a football, make an interception? It feels like Terry Moore is starting to find some traction and get his feet under him in his first spring at Ohio State after maybe a little bit of a sluggish start. He's got that black stripe off. So there's a handful of guys that fit into that conversation. Now, like I said, Austin Sarabeld, Phillip Daniels, Josh Padilla, Jake Cook, in a hurry to rattle through those names. And make sure I get them right. They're not going to be participating on the offensive line. And in the backfield, you don't have Bo Jackson, Isaiah West, Legend Bay, and Turbo Rogers. So there won't be a lot of motivation, I think, to lean on the run game. They're banged up, not going to go do a bunch of inside drills, and you're not going to want to push things to the limit all that much anyway physically when you get to the end of camp. You want to be healthy heading into summer. But those guys, certainly Ian Moore at the top, Tito, I think, was going to have a lot of attention, and it's not going to make or break it one way or another. But if he's got a good day, I think that would carry a lot of momentum into the summer.
It definitely would, and that's something I think the coaches would love to see. It'd be terrific if he could continue to carry that momentum forward. Wide receiver wise,
yeah,
I think you feel good about JJ. You feel good about Brandon Ennis. I hope
you feel good about JJ.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hope. Hope is not a strategy, but I feel pretty good with what I've seen. Brock Boyd, I think, has looked pretty good. Outside of those guys, you've got obviously some of the transfers in there, and then some of the new guys, some of the guys like Bell that are back that maybe you haven't seen from a lot. Do you think you'll be able to have kind of a natural pecking order coming out of Saturday for what that room could look like moving forward?
I think one has kind of shaken out, and I think it'll look different in a way that the last couple of years, or compared to the last couple of years, where it was really primarily focused on top three, and maybe you would have a fourth involved. I think what's happened throughout this spring camp is that with JJ and Brandon Ennis at the top, that they're going to play a lot, but I think there's 3, 4, or 5 other guys who will also, and they're some of the concepts, some of the passing game philosophy, and some of the personnel, I think, really lends itself back to 2018 and 2019 versions of the Ohio State offense and what Ryan Day was doing with the passing attack then. And we'll see if that does wind up actually being the case in September. But for March and April, that's definitely been the case, where you can realistically go out and play Kyle Parker, Devin McEwen, Phillip Bell, Desi Jones, Brock Boyd, maybe Chris Henry Jr., Jerquaden Guilford. That's 8 guys. I don't think they're going to play 8, but if you think about that group that could interchangeably roll out 7 or 8 years ago now at this point, a Paris Campbell, a Johnny Dixon, a KJ Hill, an Austin Mack, a Benjamin Victor. I think this is where this is going again for Ohio State, and also that they're going to bring back some of those mesh concepts and tear apart teams across the middle of the field and drag routes and pop passes and end arounds. I think a lot of that stuff is in the works right now, and that was exciting to see on Student Appreciation Day. I would assume we'll see some of those concepts because they're not necessarily a secret on Saturday in the spring game, And that'd be a showcase for some of the athleticism of these new guys. Like you mentioned, just the transfers there, Bob, with Kyle Parker and Devin McEwen. These guys can absolutely go. I mean, they have speed to burn, and I wouldn't want to run with them across the field. I don't think any defensive back in America is going to really relish that challenge. This is a team that I think is better positioned to lean on multiple wide receivers, but also use them not just vertically down the field, but to stretch and challenge teams horizontally. And I think that maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't on Saturday, but either way, it feels like that's where the arrow is pointing.
Get you on this one, Austin. It's been well known and well documented that some comedians, when they are fat, they are funnier than when they lose weight, and sometimes they lose some of that jolliness when they lose weight. Somebody in the chat says, "Bring back plump Austin." Are you a better reporter or worse reporter with your weight loss?
Only America can determine that, Tito. I can tell you that I've got a lot more juice and energy to do it than I had before. So I like to think that I always approach the job the best that I possibly could. But, now we're going to see if the Awaken 180 version and less hair on top of my head will work for the last couple of weeks of spring camp. So I'm glad that people are taking notice of everything that's going on physically for me.
Take your shirt off. Thank you. We appreciate the time as always. And we'll talk again next week, Austin.
All right. See you, boys.
Austin Ward joining us right there. Coming up next, we will tell you what's got us juice. Morning Juice.
Hey, folks. It's Jeremy Birmingham. Berm here from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. After hitting maintenance with Awaken 180, I kind of thought that was the whole deal. All right, cool. Don't be an idiot now. Don't gain it back. Stay under 200 pounds. That was the win. But then maintenance did something I really didn't expect. I lost another 5 pounds for free. I'm now down 40 pounds, further under 200, and that's the part about Awaken 180 that still cracks me up a little bit. Because people hear maintenance and think it means barely hanging on, eating celery in the dark and trying not to blow it. That's not this. I'm eating pizza. I can have ice cream. I'm living like a normal person. The difference is I'm not fighting myself all day, or if I'm wondering what one weekend away from the plan could ruin the whole thing. Awaken 180 just didn't help me lose the weight. It taught me how to live in a way where I'm not headed right back to where I started. The last 5 pounds in free maintenance, that tells you everything. Awaken180weightloss.com. Go there now and give it a chance and see how it can help you take control of your life and your health the way it did for me. Awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm Meredith Garfalo, meteorologist at 10 TV News This Morning, and I'm an Ohio girl. I love golf, aerospace, and all things Ohio sports. For nearly 20 years, I've studied the patterns that shape our days, from winter wonders on the south side to dangerous storms along the I-71 corridor. When the weather changes, you'll be the first to know, because you need a forecast that moves as fast as you do. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Bobby is known as the General. Tito shops at Dollar General. This is Morning Juice.
Thank you to Austin Ward for joining us there on the Bryant Heating Cooling System fan guest video, whatever. Get confirmation on that. I think it'll be a Monday meeting topic there. We're supposed to say that or not because I've given them freebies if we're not. Let's tell people what's got us juiced.
What's got you juiced? Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bob, it's a Wednesday. Why don't you lead things off there? My mic's doing the same thing. My mic keeps turning around. I try to tighten it the best I can. It keeps swinging on me. No, not that kind of swing.
Swing whatever. Swing whichever way you want to swing.
Like that, it'll just move around. Like I can't get it tightened enough here.
Well, because that only adjusts the forward and back.
Tighten the.
You got to tighten this guy.
Well, okay. I don't know. Wait.
The
Now,
swivel.
see it on the right-hand side.
Right-hand side over here.
Up higher. Right? Yeah, you're kind of right. You're hot.
Warm.
You're on fire.
Okay.
That should help, I think.
All right.
Maybe. We'll
Maybe
see.
not.
Unknown.
Mine swings a lot more as I swing it and move it away from my mouth on this side because Bobby's overhead one.
Yeah,
used to like kind of keep it locked in place more, so it's looser.
Not there to help you out anymore, buddy. Yeah. Oh goodness, what's got me juice? Well, we've got practice 13 today for Ohio State. You've got the defensive line and offensive line are going to be available. That's good. Got classes next week. This is kind of the last big class. We've got some stuff to turn in, some presentations. Finals are going to start the 27th. So that's got me juiced. Just putting together some things. I realized I already had a quiz built that I forgot to do last night. And I was like, oh, going to have to do that during the show or quickly after today. Already done. Already had it from last year. I was like, oh, gosh. This fits from last year. This is amazing. Terrific. Check that box. Conversations today about Jackets head coach getting into the players a little bit, getting into the organization, talking about the ills of what has been going on for the last quarter century here and why handling success has been really tough and why there hasn't been sustained success. You're professionals. You got to be able to take criticism. Feedback is a gift. If you want to get better, you've got to understand that you're not perfect. And Bill Parcells would always tell us, confrontation breeds change. You may not like it, you may not enjoy it, but you've got to be able to confront situations. You do so in private, you do so in public. The discretion and discernment on that comes from years of experience. And you do so privately at first, and then I think at some point you got to take things public. When people ask, I'm going to answer. You're a professional. You're getting paid. I hope that he's back next year. I hope that the Jackets look a lot more like they did on that winning streak than they did on the losing streak. And they do go on the run, but it's all about consistency and waking up and doing things the same thing, the same way every day. And when you do that, generally in life, you start stacking good days, and it's like stacking cards. It doesn't look like much at first, but if you can stack 10 weeks together of good days, you got a full deck of cards. You do that 5 times throughout the year, all of a sudden 5 decks looks like something. And if you can do that for a decade, then all of a sudden you got 50 decks of cards and you've been able to do something with your life. But that one card every day doesn't look like a whole lot. But if you don't put the card down, you can't put the next card on top of it. And I think that's a little bit of what Bowness was getting into there, is you got to figure this thing out. It's about a choice of doing it the hard way. And once there's expectations on you in your life, it's not going to be easy. And you're going to have to show up and do it better and better and better each and every day. And so if you're not willing to do that, you're in the wrong profession. My dad would say, go pump some gas.
You want fries with that?
Go pound some concrete. There's other jobs where you're not going to get the scrutiny, but you're also not going to get the praise, and you're not going to get all of the things that come with it as well. So that's today's PSA. Bodie, what Schleig's got to say?
I got this coffee machine. It's a Breville. It's a barista touch screen, and you can grind up them like a fine grind or whatever, or a coarse grind, but it's got like all these little things. They got flat whites, cappuccinos. I just always took the Americano because I'm just trying to keep it sexy, so it's just water and a double shot. I probably make 2 or 3 of those a day.
I don't know if Schleich needs caffeine. I think his blood is just caffeine. What has me juiced today, guys?
We were gassing him up yesterday. He started yawning. John Simon's like, getting tired. More caffeine, Schlegs.
There you go.
More caffeine.
Got a couple things for you guys. First off, I liked his comments as well. I was with you, Bob. I can't put it as eloquently as you just put it there, but agreed on all fronts. I love every morning coming in and cutting up post-game coaches press conference. It's the time of my life, to be honest with you. I wish I could do more of it. Maybe I'll just start cutting up random stuff. Here we go. Warriors, Clippers tonight, 10 o'clock. Maybe I'll just come in tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Kerr, Ty Lue sound of the dad.
Yes.
Anybody want it? No, but here it is.
Segment right there.
So that's got me juiced. What else has me juiced? Semi-excited to watch the 76ers Magic game tonight. Winner advances to face the Celtics in Game 1 on Sunday afternoon in Boston. Also saw that that game's at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and the games 2, 3, and 4 are also all 7 o'clock tip-off times, which I'm a big fan of because that means about a 9:30 ender there. So that's always a good thing for me on early nights there. And then last but not least, Bob, a rather tame night in Westeros last night. Cersei
you
and
on
Jamie.
episode 3?
That sounds right. If you said the name of it, it would click.
The Breaker of Chains?
Yes. Yep. Jamie and Cersei reconnected with their dead son in the same room as them, which really threw me off, if you will. I don't know. It's,
Listen, they shared a wound together.
Romance is always in the air for those.
They say
two.
grief is nature's most powerful aphrodisiac.
Wow. Okay, for Jamie, that was a very
you said womb,
statement.
not room, right?
Yes.
Sharing a room is different than a womb.
Well,
okay. Well,
I guess both in their case.
One's just a larger womb, right? One's an efficiency.
So that all has me juiced. Anything else I got for you guys? I think that's it. Tito?
Yeah.
What has you juiced, sir?
What's got me juiced? Reds got a win last night, which I like, 2-1. Pitching is doing very well so far this year. The bats have to come around. Hats for bats. Got to figure that out. But I enjoy that, watching or following the Reds on that. It's still the best background noise, like when I'm doing other things, and I'm not paying like super close attention to it. And I'm still of the belief that baseball games are a better listen when they're static. I don't want to hear a crystal clear broadcast of a baseball game. I want
Milk tastes better, a little spoiled.
I want it, Bob,
You'd
to
take
be
a swallow and you'd feel a chunk.
I want it. That got you, Bob. All the stuff we talk about on the show.
If you've ever drank chunky milk,
it's not great.
It's the worst surprise you've ever had in your life.
Well, I don't know about the worst one. It might be the worst food-related one, I guess, Bob.
Yeah,
but
the Funky Comedina might be worse.
There might be worse ones there. But no, Bob, I enjoy it when then there's also like some weather situations where like the lightning will kind of crack into the static also. Like that all makes for good. Yeah. That's a heck of a day. That's a heck of a day right there, Bob, when you can listen to a baseball game like that. It needs to be even like sometimes I'll try to find an alternate station that's a million miles away, so it won't be as clear as if it's right here. But that's the best way to listen to baseball, Bob.
Just get in the bathtub and toss the radio in there with you.
Well, if it's battery operated, I'll do it. I'm not going to do it with the plug. I don't think I have a plug-in radio anymore. Do you have a plug-in radio?
I don't have a radio anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Do you have any? So, like, that's not even a thing. You couldn't really.
I do actually have, but it also has like Bluetooth on it and everything.
Right.
Else.
Yeah, my
it's
mom
like
and
a portable
stepdad have
one.
It's like a record player, radio, Bluetooth, CD player, all in one.
Nice.
Deal.
But I don't have a radio that relies solely on being plugged in. I've got a couple of speakers, but like a Bose speaker and things like that. But I don't have I don't have a radio that has to be plugged in only. Now we mentioned that. None for either of you, right?
I don't think I've ever owned one.
This has a battery. You can plug. It needs to be plugged in, but it charges, and it's like a 12-inch speaker you can carry around. It's portable. It's great.
Okay. Where was I going? Oh, Reds get a win. Listening to Reds on Staticky Radio always has me juiced. You can catch them on 1460, right? ES, what do we call it? The Fan 2. I almost dropped the E thing there. That was close on that one. Just in time for the Monday review. Right. The Fan 2 is where you can catch that, though. But that's how I like listening to it now. I am not juiced about the way the Jackets season ended. I hope Bowness comes back. I would like to see it happen. I would like to see him have some of the success they had during that run with him. It'll be a very interesting offseason with the UFAs and the RFAs and what they will do in certain situations. I hope they get Fantilli signed long term. I don't know. I get the sense that he'll probably do what was that for, Bob?
Just reading that some of the episodes in season 4 of Thrones. I was trying to figure out when some of these things happened. I'm excited. I'm going to go back and watch them.
Yeah. But I hope Bowness comes back, though. I want to see, I hope they get Fantilli signed long term. I could see Fantilli doing like a short, I think Porty talked about it yesterday, the short bridge deal, maybe like a few years, and then gets him out there to unrestricted free agency. But he's been a lot of fun to watch since he got here. The Jackets made a lot of good decisions personnel wise. Overall, I would say there's certainly been some swings and misses, but by and large, I like what they've done with this team, and I do like the coaching change, and I hope that it continues and they can build on that for next year. It sucks the season's over. But NBA playoffs, I'm with you, Bode. Can't wait to see what the Celtics do. I'm hoping for a Celtics Spurs or Celtics Thunder final. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I would take one in the East.
Yep, just do that. Yep, you get that one knocked out though. But so I'm looking forward to following the Celtics in the playoffs as well. So, great conversation, great storytelling today, witty banter today. I think, Bob, would you say witty banter?
Sure, great discussions.
I think we hit all of it.
I think we did.
That's a heck of a day.
That's a heck of it. We should even work tomorrow now. We've been so tired. Let's go off with a walk off here.
Friday.
We'll be back tomorrow with Albert Breer. Your Highness will join us. I'm assuming he will be because he's Your Highness, which means he'll be up all night.
Make it back to.
He's back. Yeah, he made it back.
Home.
He got, wherever home is. Home's where he lays his hat. But yes, he did make it back home. We'll have Your Highness on tomorrow. But we'll do all that, folks. All the juicers, thanks for chiming into the chat. Great lively chat.